Hello. Hey, welcome to CEO Check-In. It is Wednesday, and I'm so excited that I have a guest on today. Angela Jackson, Dr. Angela Jackson, is joining us from New Profit, which is a social venture. If you're not familiar with it, you're going to learn more about New Profit today and about Angela's exciting work in figuring out the future of work. What a cool term. And, she is reminding us also that we have a big opportunity right now that we're rewriting so much of what work looks like. We're not working in our offices anymore, many of us. Many people are reinventing themselves. We have higher unemployment than we've ever had. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, what is next? What does the future of work look like for me personally? A lot of people are wondering. And what does it look like for us as a country? What does it look like for us as a planet? How do we avoid future pandemics? How do we take these lessons about all being connected the way that we are and apply them in the workplace? So we're going to hear more about that today. I see Dr. Angela Jackson's with us. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to bring you on in just a moment. I want to just take a minute first because we always do this on CEO Check-In where this is an opportunity for members of our community at Million Dollar Women to come together and get some live coaching from me and meet each other. And we also welcome new people into our community via these live CEO check-ins a couple of times a week. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we're going to be together for 30 minutes. I'm going to do a quick go big tip. I always give a go big tip because there are actually things that you can do to scale your business faster. These are the very things that high-performing CEOs are doing, and so I'm sharing them one tip at a time here on CEO Check-In. And if you're looking for more help with your business, feel free to get in touch with Maddie at juliapim.com. She's on the CEO Check-In. You can also communicate with her through this little chat here, and that's Maddy at juliapim.com to learn more about our programs at Million Dollar Women. So the go big tip for today is to make sure that you have the right capital to grow your business. And Dr. Jackson knows a lot about this because she is working at a venture philanthropy fund where they're helping to fund social entrepreneurs. But the go big tip is to create your own runway. And what that means is when you're launching your business or when you're scaling your business, you want to give yourself the ability to get a few things wrong. Because as entrepreneurs, we need to have that ability to make a few mistakes, take a few risks, and that requires capital. So for some people, that just means making sure that you have some money in the bank or that you have a great line of credit. Make sure to have a relationship with your banker if you have a growing company. And for some people, that means going out and raising capital. Not all businesses are right for raising capital, but if yours is, then I highly encourage you to consider raising capital. Right now, not enough women are raising capital, and we see that fewer than 2% of VCs, venture capitalists, are women. And less than 4% of venture capital funding goes to women-run businesses. So we're trying to change all that in our lifetime. So if you're considering raising capital, there are a lot of big opportunities right now to do that. And Angela's going to tell us about some of them. But the main lesson is to make sure that you have that runway because most small businesses shut down because they run out of cash. And that is often a runway problem. They haven't given themselves the runway to take off, right? Think about a plane. When it's cruising down that runway, it needs to have a long enough runway that it can gather up that speed and momentum to take off. And your business is the same. So with that in mind, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Angela Jackson. We met back when we were both running language teaching businesses. I was running a for-profit, Little Pim, and she was running a nonprofit that she founded, Global Language Project, where she helped thousands of children get access to free foreign language education. And somehow, coincidence or not, we've both wound up working on closing the financial gender gap now. Dr. Angela Jackson went off to Harvard and got her PhD. I'm so proud of that. It's amazing you got a PhD. I remember when we had your goodbye party on the roof here in New York, and it was such a beautiful evening. And now here you are, a partner at New Profit, which has such an incredible mission. I want to read it and not get it wrong. The mission of New Profit is to break down the barriers that stand between people and opportunity in America. That's amazing. So you are going to be a big part of doing that. You're such a trailblazer. Dr. Jackson came out of marketing at some big telecom firms, including Nokia and Viacom. Then she went on to found and run the nonprofit GLP, and now is making waves in the investment world, working with New Profit, where she's in charge of the future of work and has just announced a $6 million fund to fund people who have innovative ideas about the future of work. And we're going to hear more about that today. And if you're watching, maybe you'll be able to apply. I know there are grants of $100,000 and more. So let's bring Dr. Jackson on and hear all about it from her. All right, here we go. Just give me a moment to, yep, no, that's not it. Hang on a sec. All right. Here we go. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring Dr. Jackson on is that this is a big time of reinvention. We are reinventing what it means to be at work. I mentioned earlier, a lot of us are not working in our offices anymore. We're working from home. We're trying to figure out, how do I reinvent my business? Am I doing the work I want to do? Is there different work that I want to do? How do I work in this new normal where everything is remote? I am going to ask that Maddie and Dr. Jackson connect, because I'm not able to bring you on just yet. I'm sure we will figure it out. So what I want to talk to Dr. Jackson about is, how is New Profit dedicating its resources and smartest people like Dr. Jackson to thinking about what could work look like in the future? And maybe just stop and think about that a minute for yourself. Like, what will be the same and what will be different? I've been speaking about that with friends lately, and just this weekend I was for July 4th up in Hudson, New York with my friend Alana, and meeting some other entrepreneurs she's there with. They're taking refuge from the city. It was a whole house of people who used to live in Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan. Now they're up in Hudson, New York. And what we were talking about is, what do we think will not come back? So, oh, here we go. Hang on a second. I know you're there, Dr. Jackson, but it's not letting me invite you on. So I'm going to ask Maddie to tell you how to ask me to join, because usually it lets me invite you, but it's not letting me do that. But I know we'll figure it out. So what we were saying with my friends who are all entrepreneurs is, one thing we hoped would not come back is the formality of relationships at work. That it used to be that you would be at work and you'd be in your work persona, right? You're the boss, or you're the manager, or you're the intern. But now we've kind of all been leveled, right? Because we're all at home, we're all just doing the best we can. I know with my staff, we've been having a lot of vulnerable conversations about our health fears, about taking care of family. People have animals running in and out of their Zooms. People have to take a half a day off because they're worried about someone who's sick. So this has created more intimate relationships in the workplace, and that's something that we actually hope won't go back, because it's sort of nice to show up as your full self at work. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel. Okay, so Dr. Jackson is going to request me to go live now, and we're going to bring her on and hear what she has to say about the future of work. So I'm sure I'll get a pop-up any minute, and we'll be able to bring her on. So maybe if you could write into the chat while we're waiting, something that you think is not going to be the same once we come out of coronavirus. So I talked about how I don't think we're going to go back to these. Hey, Jess. Hey, Bianca. Hi, B. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Lori. Hi, Rabia. Hi, Valencia. Got the whole gang here. So good to see you guys today. Send me some hearts. I could use some hearts right now. Thank you. Awesome. We're gonna figure out this technology thing. I'll just talk till then. But I don't want to take even a minute away from your time with Dr. Jackson, because she has so much to say about this topic of the future at work. But what we were also saying is, okay, so we don't think we're gonna go back to the workplace where these formal relationships. But we also wonder if some places will just stay remote forever, right? Thank you for the hearts, guys. Will some businesses just stay remote, right? We got rid of our office at $1 Million Women. We realized we didn't know when we were going to be able to be back there. My chief of staff, Maddie, lives in deep Brooklyn, so that was a long commute for her. We may go back to a couple days a week or something, but I don't think we're going to go back to the same structure we had before. So I'm wondering what you think is going to come back or not come back. And Lori, maybe you could tell us. Lori's a coach, so I wonder what she thinks is going to come back. She's been coaching women in upstate New York, in the Hudson Valley, actually, not too far from where I was this weekend, about how to grow their careers. And of course, she had to take her entire membership program online. So let's see, Bianca says, how will I keep up a company culture while things are virtual? Usually I would have IRL events. That's a great question. Well, Bianca, I think that we have to get more creative, right, about our company culture. I know that at Million Dollar Women, we decided to start a book club. So we're all reading How to Be an Anti-Racist by the author, Mr. Kendi. And that's going to give us a chance to get to know each other in a whole other way when we talk about the book. We also do a call every other week where we share things we've been working on, like hobbies. Like I didn't know that my intern Maura is a great painter. Who knew? So she's been sharing these paintings that she makes. So that's some of the things that we're doing, but it is a challenge and one we're all going to have to solve together, right? How do we create that corporate culture if we never are, or rarely are, IRL? Rabia says things that might be different, org culture in virtual worlds. Organizational culture in virtual worlds. Yes, and Rabia, I'd love to know what you're seeing or if you have any tips on that. Yeah, and that's your expertise. Okay, I think Maddie and Dr. Jackson are figuring this out, but we still have plenty of time. So we're going to bring her on. And I will just say, Dr. Jackson, I love calling you that because you were Angela for a long time, but now you're Dr. Jackson. Is that if you're not on your phone, it's not going to work, but you probably know that already. Something funny about Instagram is you can't do it on the computer. It has to be like on your phone. Let's see. So Winnie Lau, who's also in Masterclass, hey Winnie, says, Bianca, maybe a fitness challenge and encourage people to post on social and cheer people on social. Oh, what a cool idea. Yeah, because Bianca runs a body positive boot camp. So she has people working out in their homes. And I love what you've been doing, Bianca, with showing the people on video doing their workouts. I think that is so cool. What a great idea. And I like Winnie's tip. I know that a friend of mine, Joe Apfelbaum, who was a guest on CEO Check-In, lost 95 pounds. And part of the way he lost it is he asked people to like his posts when he was going running. And he ran as many minutes as he got likes. Or maybe it was as many miles as he got likes. I can't quite remember. But he used social media and his friends to cheer him on in order to inspire him to have like a bigger and longer workout. So those are some great ideas. I love it. Our community is full of amazing, smart women. Seriously, if I just put you guys all in a virtual room and let you coach each other, incredible things would come out of that. And in our community, Million Dollar Women, we have these masterminds where the women meet once a month for the 4 months that they're in the program. This is if you're not familiar with Million Dollar Women Masterclass. And every single time we run one of our 4-month courses, women start trading business ideas and giving each other tips, just like you just saw Bianca and Winnie do. And that can lead to another 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 in business. Why? Because everyone in our program is already amazing at a few things in their business. That's why they've gotten to this place of 100,000, 200,000 in revenues. So they're in our class to fill in the missing gaps. And just like New Profit's mission, which I love, to break down the barriers that stand between people and opportunity in America, our mission at Million Dollar Women is to remove the obstacles that keep women from growing a profitable, scalable business. And one of those obstacles is just not knowing how other businesses are doing smart things that are making them money because you just don't have access, right? You're just head down, running your business. If you're Valencia, you're making amazing essential oils based in Texas, right? If you're Winnie, you're a talented photographer here in Brooklyn, New York, or Bianca, based in the DC area, helping people all over the country get more fit and love their bodies. But you don't have time to go study the business models of even your competitors, still the less people in entirely other industries. So that's where we come in, is we put you all in a small group together and you can start trading those great ideas. And people are very generous in our community. As soon as someone wants to know, hey, how did you do that? How did you do that, right? I know that Bianca and B have been showing up on these CEO check-ins and have worked out some kind of a partnership with B's Women Repair Zone and Bianca's Body Positive Fitness Bootcamp. All right, checking in on my peeps here and seeing what's going on with the tech. You may not know this, but I was a filmmaker in my first career. So, I found it. Here we go. Okay. So I'm not going to be phased, and I'm bringing Angela on. Dr. Jackson. Woo-doo-doo. I think it's going to work. I have great faith that this is going to work. Bear with me here. Adding you right now, and it says waiting for the marvelous Dr. Jackson. Yay, we did it. Thank you for your patience. Hi. Oh, I can't hear you yet. Wait, hang on. We might need you to maybe take off a Bluetooth, or I can't hear you. Nope, not yet, but we're going to get there. No. Sometimes when my Bluetooth is connected to, like if I have Bluetooth on and it's connected to like a headset that's in the other room, then there's no sound. You can hear me. It sounds like you can hear me. Do this if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I can't hear you yet. No. But that's okay. We're going to make it happen. And if for whatever reason, we can't get the sound going, we'll just have you back on. But I think we can make it happen. Also, you are in very good hands with Maddie Goldsmith, my chief of staff. She's going to troubleshoot you through this. See, this is the future of work at play right here. And Dr. Jackson works on the future of work. The future of work is that we do our own lighting, our own tech, our own everything, right? Before coronavirus, I had my staff who would always help me set everything up before I did any kind of video, did anything. And now, I've got the lights, the audio, my makeup, my hair, doing it all myself. Angela's doing it all herself. And we're just going to figure it out. Okay, she's plugging in her headset. I have a good feeling about this. And, and see, Nicole's jumping in too from my team. So, okay, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to let you two figure it out. And then, Angela, when you're ready, you just speak up and I'll be quiet. But more things that may change in the future because of this time we've had in the pandemic is that, and for all my ladies in my classes, women, I don't really like that term ladies because it's very kind of frou-frou. So all the women in my class, I want you to think about how am I diversifying my revenue stream during this time? Because the truth is that having just one revenue stream is very vulnerable. And people are realizing during this time that, okay, maybe the in-person went away. Ah, she's on. Maybe the in-person went away, but the virtual is working. Wrapping up that thought. Hi, Dr. Jackson.
Oh my gosh, Julia, we are rolling with it today. Can you hear me now?
Yes, but
awesome.
between you and me and the millions we've raised and the stuff we've done, like we were going to figure this out.
I know. Well, can I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm so excited to talk to your network. And as you talk about you're proud of me, I am so proud of what you are doing for the many women out there who are earning $1 million because of your curriculum.
And other ones on their way there, not just when they get there, but on their way there too.
How about that? Completely agree.
Thank you so much. And I'm so happy you're here. I have to get used to calling you Dr. Jackson.
There you go.
Fun, and you deserve it. You did that PhD, like you get that title.
Yes, but for this we can say Angela and Julia. Like we're
good.
like old school. We're going way back.
I think I would feel better about that. Thank you. All right. So Angela, can you tell us a little bit about why you made the comment recently there are big opportunities right now? Because I think a lot of people, and maybe people watching right now, are feeling like, no, the opportunities are shrinking. I'm scared. My business is not making as much money. I don't know what the future looks like, still the less the future of work. If we're seeing big opportunities, what are those? Let's just jump in there.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in there. So a couple things, and I sometimes call it the Corona bonus. I don't know about you, and as women leading in business, we move so fast. Rarely do we have time to be still and to reflect. And I think one thing that this pandemic has done, it's made us sit down, right? And you can't really have a ton of distractions because you're really seeing what's happening on television. We're hearing about the, historic unemployment rates. We are knowing how, our communities are being impacted. And so in this moment, when I say the Corona bonus, I feel like we're being called to act, and there's really a reset that can happen, right? And we know a lot of the markets and capital markets and the workforce markets, they didn't work well pre-Corona, but many of us didn't have awareness of that. And now what we do have is this moment of collective awareness. So the question that I ask myself is, what can we do now? What can we do differently? Yes, we all want to return to normal, but we want to return, I'd say, to a normal that works for more people.
Yeah, how
And
about
return
a
to
better
an
normal,
equitable.
right? Because normal wasn't working
exactly.
so well, as
It
we
wasn't
saw with
working.
Black Lives Matter, right? It's like suddenly people are stopping and watching and paying attention and
Completely.
realizing there's a lot more broken in this country than we realized.
Right. And that's why I say that's the bonus in this moment, right? That now that we have this collective awareness, and I think the opportunity is, okay, what can we do now? What can we do with it? And I'm excited. I share my work with New Profit, but we are just thrilled about the opportunity to be a philanthropy and to be in a position where we have capital and we can help in this moment. So we think a lot about what does an equitable recovery look like? What does a world look like where women, they have access to funding, where people have sustainable jobs, where they have livable wages and they have benefits? Like, what does prosperity for all look like?
And then we think about the entrepreneurial side of that, which we'll get into in a minute, since so many women in our community are entrepreneurs. But just to help people understand how unique New Profit is, because their model really is, they're one of the few, right, philanthropists that is helping social ventures. So can you just help people understand how they're different than like a traditional VC?
Yeah, so one is, New Profit was founded 20 years ago, literally using a VC model, but our founder, Vanessa Kirsch, thought people who are ideating and innovating around social issues, they need risk capital too. And if you know anything about traditional philanthropy, a lot of the dollars always go to the program, whereas New Profit's take is we need to make sure that we're giving entrepreneurs access to capital and risk capital for innovation, for capacity, for operations, because that's how you build a sustainable organization and that's how you're positioned to scale.
That's right. So they can hire good people and have a great infrastructure, right? No one wants to pay for all that kind of unsexy overhead stuff. But New Profit said, we get it. We get that you can't do amazing work in the world if, you're one person in a basement with a fax machine, right? 20 years ago, it was a fax machine.
That's exactly it. And just thinking about the impact these entrepreneurs, and this is for-profit entrepreneurs and nonprofit, right?
What are some we might know of, just to give people a sense?
Absolutely. So we were some of the first investors in Teach for America, which is like a scaled model. When I think about the ones that we're really excited now, there's an organization called Code Path that I love that partners with historically Black colleges to bring coding curriculum to students free of charge, which is really huge. We're also thinking about how we can use emerging technology to level the playing field. So there's a company called R3 Score that we love. It's run by an African-American woman, and really helping people with their credit so they can have access to capital markets. So we're really thinking now about how can technology be used in new ways, again, to make people more connected to the economy.
That's fantastic. And so then let's go back to these opportunities. Thank you for that overview of New Profit. Although one more thing, because I do know that a lot of women in our community are considering raising capital from angel or venture capital. So how is their model different, in the way that they invest?
Yes,
so you invest. You are a partner, so it's you.
That's exactly. Well, yeah, I am. So I think the biggest way that we're different are two ways. One is we have a signature deal that we invest in over 3 years. We give $1 million. More than just the dollars that we invest, we also give technical support. So you would get a partner like me that would sit on your board of directors and really become a thought partner / executive coach / friend, really doing a deep dive in your business and thinking about that partner and scaling it. The second, those are our larger deals. We also have lower deals, which we call a catalyze. They're $50,000 investments. And what comes with that, again, is the same partnership and also community. So we connect you with a community of other entrepreneurs who are working on similar issues. So some of the issues we have now, we have a catalyze investment. We have Unlocked Futures. These were people who've been involved in the justice system. We have for entrepreneurs of color. So again, one thing that you talk about, which we really agree with, is that community matters. So one, you need capital, but also you need that community and you need mentorship. So we pair those together.
I love that. And that peer-to-peer can be so valuable, because whether you're an entrepreneur trying to build your healthcare or education business, or a social entrepreneur trying to change how people get access to mental health or bring, technical skills to people who haven't usually had access, it can be very lonely, right? And you don't always have access to the best practices. So having someone like you who's a thought partner and then also a community of other social change leaders, that just must be so powerful.
Right. And sometimes I wrestle with this word social entrepreneur. And I loved it for many years, but I think in many ways, any entrepreneur can be a social entrepreneur. If we think about a woman who's opening a business in her local community, right, that's employing 3 or 4 people who now have been impacted by COVID, like you're doing social good in that moment. So for all of us,
employing people is social good, actually.
It's very
so there
much
needs to be a
social
broad
good.
umbrella. That social entrepreneurship needs to encompass people who are doing good and doing well in all the different forms.
That's completely it. And what I'm really excited to talk to you about is that we have this Future of Work Grand Challenge that we launched on the 22nd
Yes, I can't
of
wait to
June.
hear about it.
And
really,
is it
$6 million? Is that the $6 million fund?
That's the $6 million fund that we're going to
it.
give out. I love giving away money, and I love giving it
Awesome.
away to people
I
who
love
have
that
ideas.
you're the one giving away money because you have great judgment, and if I may, you have sat on both sides of the table, right? In the sense that, like, we now have a fund at $1 Million Women. We have the $1 Million Women Fund, so we're also giving funds out as scholarships to women of color entrepreneurs. But we're also raising money. We've sat in every possible seat, and so have you. You've been an entrepreneur. You've been the one raising funds. You raised over $10 million for your nonprofit, which is incredible. And so how wonderful for the people coming to you that you can, and I know your heart is so in the right place, that even if you can't fund everyone, right? We were talking about this the other day. You're like, well, how can we give them value even if we can't fund them all?
Yeah,
so
and for me, when I think about that process of now sitting in this funder seat, before, I would go out and I'd pitch for funding, and sometimes I'd get a yes, sometimes I'd get a no. And if somebody was being really, really gracious, they may give me a tad bit of feedback. And so one commitment that I've made in sitting in this chair now as a funder is that I want to give people access to information. It's more than just a yes or a no. It's a yes, this is why, or this is a no, this is why. This is who I can connect you to. This is where I think that you can improve. And I think as women in this seat, I think it's really important for us to pay it forward in that way. Because a no also may mean not now. And that information could be critical for that next entrepreneur's pitch. And so we want them to be best positioned when they walk out of our door. So
I love that you're doing that. That will help so many people, right? Because you can't always get the yes. And I'm sure you're going to see thousands of applications and you'll only be able to fund, a few hundred of them, a few dozen? How many can you fund?
So I think at the end of the day,
this is another way you can help people is by showing them, hey, maybe work on this piece, or have you thought of that? Or could you partner with this one?
I think that's part of it, and that's information. The other part of it is just making sure our process is equitable. So we think a lot, and we made a public commitment that when we give away this $6 million, 40% of it is going to go to entrepreneurs of color. So Black, Latinx, and Indigenous. So that's fantastic. Public. And so by making that commitment, the way that we're looking for deals is different. Like, we're making a concerted effort to go into communities who are proximate, who know or are close to entrepreneurs who may be of color. And so they can let us know what do they need to be ready to apply. We're going to them doing classes on how to apply, 101
you're
sessions.
Getting lots of hearts for this from my people watching.
Well,
because that is what it takes, Angela, right? We talked about that the other day, that it can't just be this lip service of, we want to fund more diverse entrepreneurs. And then you go back to the exact same Stanford grads and accelerators and all the same places everybody else is looking. Because I will say there are women in our community who come in, and whether they're people of color or not, they're all women, and we've all been socialized to kind of ask for as little as possible, right? You know this phenomenon. Right. So we have a lot of women who come into our community and they're not thinking about raising money. They're just trying to make another 50,000, maybe hire an assistant. And so once we show them, first of all, let's get you a sustainable, profitable, scalable business. And then, by the way, there's all this capital out there. Once you get your business to that good place, why not go see who wants to invest and help you take it there? So how are you going to do that? How are you going to help women apply who maybe have never even applied for anything in their life? How are you going to do that?
So I think part of it is when we're thinking about getting a diverse pool of people who can apply and actually receive these funds, we're thinking about we can't sit in our office, right? We couldn't do that anyway. but we need to go where they are. Traditionally, a lot of investors take the position, well, we can sit, we'll do an RFP, and then people will send us their proposals, and we'll wait to see what we get. We know that we're not going to be able to do that. We feel like in this moment, it's going to take an entrepreneur that may have not even thought of themselves as an entrepreneur. They're seeing they're being motivated and moved by what's going on in their community, and they may have an idea to solve a particular problem that's resonant for them and their community. So we want to hear the insights from the field. So we have went out and we've got new partners. So we're partnering a lot with a lot of kind of incubators. We're also partnering with, I call unlikely partners like Goodwill Industries. We're partnering with people who've experienced joblessness, who are job seekers, again, who have ideas, who are sitting at home saying, I wish I had X, Y, and Z. That's what
those are our future entrepreneurs.
Those are our future entrepreneurs.
That's all we are. I always say this to our women. I always say we're all just problem solvers. That's what we are, right? So you're going to help fund the next generation of problem solvers, it sounds like. And I do want to leave time for questions from this group, because I'm seeing names pop up of people in my community who I know for a fact have amazing businesses that are thriving even during COVID, and who are talking about raising capital and probably are wondering, hey, do I qualify? So I'm going to invite you, if you're listening right now, to put your questions in the chat, and I will read them out loud so that Dr. Jackson, see, I did it, can answer them. And Angela, I know that no matter whether you fund all these businesses or not, they will get tremendous value just from going through the process. Tell us a bit about that, because you were saying the other day you've got some really cool people who are going to be looking at these companies. Can we hear about that part?
Yeah, absolutely. So our two partners in this challenge is X Prize Foundation and MIT Solves. If you don't know X Prize, they're widely credited with launching the private space market. They work with Tesla and Elon Musk. So they're all about innovation, and they're specifically looking at ideas on how do we upskill people for jobs of the future with less time and less money. So it's really a specific skilling play, and that skill could be anything. But what's going to be the evaluation is, does that skill earn someone a living wage with benefits? That's one. And then MIT Solves, as our partner, which is MIT University, is really attuned to what are the wraparound services that people need to get a job. So thinking about job placement, thinking about careers, thinking about transportation, literally anything that allows and enables you to get to work every day, like thinking of those types of organizations. So in terms of our judges, we haven't announced them publicly, but I will tell you, and if you go look at X Prize Foundation, or if you look at MIT, you'll see the caliber of judges. They're going to be leaders.
Some amazing people. And also that they're specifically looking for social entrepreneurs, to use that term, even though I know it's not your favorite term, but it is a big umbrella.
Yes.
That is a benefit in and of itself, because social entrepreneurs aren't always sure where to go. And then if there's somebody watching this right now who's like, well, I don't know, am I a social entrepreneur? Like Valencia, who's based in Texas, she has an essential oils business. And if you dig a little deeper, and this is something she talks about, she is an African-American woman who was diagnosed with cancer in her mid-30s, I believe. And she went through treatment. Thank goodness she's okay. And essential oils were a huge part of her healing process. And so she quit her 20 years in corporate America, kind of like you did when you left corporate America and went and launched GLP, right? You were like, you had this mission to help kids learn a foreign language. Well, she's like, I want to help other people use essential oils for well-being, for health. So she now has this amazing essential oils business, which she pivoted like on a dime when coronavirus hit, from no longer selling to spas and places like that, but selling direct to consumer. So she's the type of person who's probably wondering, okay, so it's not like a social change organization, but she's a woman of color. She's creating jobs. She's helping people with wellness. Does that count? I'm just going to put you on the spot.
No, I love it. So what would make that count? And the question I would have is, how could someone learn what she's doing? How is that information shared beyond someone just buying it? Is there a way that she's able to share, to teach someone how that they are doing that? So thinking about, again, that whole pay it forward, again, how can you get someone else to learn what you're learning? So is there a program that she offers? Because again, that could be a pathway for a number of people who probably share her passion.
Definitely. Like, could she create a training program for people to use her essential oils and provide health counseling or whatever you call it in that field across the country?
That's exactly.
I'm just making that up, but
that's exactly it. And that's why I love you. You always make up these like great ideas like on the fly. If only
well, I
we had
work with
many
all these
lifetimes.
amazing women. I don't have to look too far, right? They come up with them. I think I shared with you the other night the woman who had the pole body dancing gym, right, where she was teaching women how to do like pole dancing, which I always thought was like a sexy thing, but it turns out it's a workout thing now. What do I know? So anyway, she was teaching in the studio for years, and then she took $1 Million Women Masterclass and decided to turn it into a virtual program where she's training people across the country. So you're looking for ideas like that, where it's not like just, okay, I'm going to hire 10 people and get to 1 million or 2 million, but I have an idea that could help thousands of people across the country, because I think New Profit, thank goodness, is also looking at this question of what about people who didn't decide to be entrepreneurs like you and I did? What is about some people who are going to have to be entrepreneurs? Is that part of the issue?
That's exactly it. And now that, we're forced to have some time at home, could we introduce some solutions, right? Because a lot of these jobs and opportunities, we weren't taught those in high school and university unless you went and got an advanced degree, right? And so, again, sharing your mission, we want to have this information and like opportunity accessible to more people.
Excellent. And so what do you see when you see the future of work? When I was, while you were figuring out the tech, I was saying there are some things that are going to be very different. There are some things will be gone. Like, for instance, I really love the new kind of vulnerability that we're seeing now that we all know where everybody lives. We all know their children. We know what their pets like to eat, right? It's like, right. So, hey, Valencia. So, yes, I think that there's some things that will stay the same and things that will stay different. What do you think? And what are some things you'll be happy to see go as well?
Well, I think, one thing about work, right? There'd always been this debate around remote work. And now we know that it works at scale for many different sectors. I'd hear all the time, well, this job can't be done at home. People have figured it out. And what's exciting about that to me is that for certain careers, to make certain amounts of money, you'd often have to flock to the East or West Coast or to a major city. What remote work could do at this time could be an equalizer for us. I'm based in Boston right now, but gosh, I could be working back in my hometown outside of Chicago and doing this job and doing this live. And so I think that brings opportunities. That's a huge silver lining if we think about that, the cost of transportation and things that are prohibitive, right, for people, barriers between opportunity. So really excited about that. What I will be glad to get rid of, I have to tell you, is the back-to-back Zoom meetings. I have to tell you, I don't know how everyone else feels about them, but that can be exhausting.
Zoomed out, right? We're just zoomed out.
Zoomed out. But to your point, I do think it's brought back this vulnerability, like we're seeing people as human. And I think that's what this kind of world needs now, some empathy, standing in someone else's shoes, your coworker who might be
even the
trying
fact
to teach
that we're
home.
seeing, your books right now, you're in your home. I mean, if any of the women on this call had not met you this way and just saw your name and reached out to you, they'd probably like, oh, Dr. Jackson, oh, I don't know, I better, put on my suit. Whereas like, you're so approachable and so amazing, and having this kind of intimacy with people does break down those barriers, right?
I know. I've invited them into my home.
Exactly.
No.
Are we in like your office? Where are we?
No. We're actually in my living room, pointed to the bookshelf, and see there's kind of a large space here. But I think it's fun too. And I like this connection that we're making with people, because I think we need to break down some of the false barriers. To your point, when people come in, and I want to encourage the people on this call, I give my information out, I make my team accessible. If you go to the, future work page on our site, you'll see that we try to, again, be transparent about what it takes to apply.
Oh,
we're going to be hosting a number of sessions coming up where we'll be doing 101s, and we'd be happy to share them with your network, Julia, about this is what it looks like to apply. This is what a good application looks like. And we'll have office hours so people can actually ask us questions.
That's really unique and incredible. And how can they find you? What's the best way to find you?
Yep. So if they go to newprofit.org and click on the future of work, that they will find us there. Or they can go to the futureofworkgrandchallenge.com. But the New Profit site, you'll have my email address there. We'll have links to apply, and then they'll see the dates for the office hours.
That is so exciting. And we'll have to wrap up, but I'm so grateful that you took this time. Can you just share with us one thing you're seeing that you're really excited about. I think we could all use some good news right now, since you have such an incredible bird's eye view looking at new cool ideas across America about how to reinvent the future of work. What's one thing that's kind of giving you hope right now, Angela?
What I'm really excited about is the use of data. We always complain about, data being so like kind of invasive, but there are a couple of companies out there that are using data in a very unique way. So for example, there's a company, MC and Burning Glass. They can go down to the small town city and talk about what jobs are being created. And they use real time data. So they can tell you what sectors are the hot ones, which sectors are trending down. And why I'm excited about that is that it helps people make better decisions. It helps people think about entrepreneurs and deciding what types of businesses are needed. Having actual real data about the number of people who might be engineers, the number of people who are driving cars, the number of people that are hiring in healthcare, all of that matters. And having it easily accessible, by going on their website, I think is a tremendous, it's like democratizing data in a way that we all need, that could give us information to build our businesses.
That is really encouraging, and especially at this time when we're seeing all the news about TikTok and how are they using our data, right? And Facebook has been under fire for months, years now about how they use data. So thank you for the reminder that data can be used as an equalizer and an opportunity creator. And is that part of what you did your PhD on? Just remind me.
Yeah, so my research was thinking about how do you leverage capital and services
How do you
systems
leverage
change.
capital? Got it.
And really thinking about how do we close the capital access gap. So really researching what some of those gaps were and what would it mean to close those. What would that mean for communities? What would that mean for people of color? What would that mean for women?
Yes, and that's exactly what you're working on at New Profit. So what a great fit. I know that you're going to help some extraordinary entrepreneurs to create new businesses and reinvent what the future of work looks like, because that's on all of us to figure that out at this point.
Completely agree.
We are right there with you at $1 Million Women. Our mission is to help 1 million women get to 1 million in revenues, as you know, and then they will create 1.7 trillion that will add to the GDP and over 5 million new jobs. So to the women in our community watching, we are here to support you. We're so glad you could join us. We hope you're thinking about applying now to Angela's grant. I think everybody's heading over to that site to see what that's about. And it is a grant, you said, right?
It is a grant, no equity. Go to newprofit.org and click on Future of Work. If you Google both of them, it will pop up. But definitely encourage you to apply. And Julia, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I feel more hopeful about the future of work knowing you're working on it. So thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Jackson, have a wonderful day.
Take care.
And we'll talk soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye, everyone. All right. If you are joining us just now, we just heard from Dr. Angela Jackson, who is a partner at New Profit working on the future of work. She announced a $6 million grant that's going to be given out, about $100,000 at a time, is my understanding, to entrepreneurs and people who are solving for what does the future of work look like. So if you're interested in that, head over to newprofit.org. Thanks for being with us here on CEO Check-In, and I will see you back here on Monday at noon. Have a great day. Stay brave.